it's the Muslims that help protect the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. I just want to bring this up that the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is the site for where Christ was supposedly crucified on the
Right.
cross. And Christian faiths would fight over this site. They would get real violent with each other trying to fight over this site. And it was, from my understanding, a Muslim king then said, you guys are going to kill each other and you're going to ruin your site that you care so much about. So we're going to take care of it for you. The Muslims are going to take care of it
They
for
have
you.
the key. The Muslims still have the key to open it.
To open the
was
door.
a way
Two
of
different,
Yeah.
Muslim Palestinian families are caring for this
in the
church.
key. Yeah.
And so that's
And
fascinating.
there's
So,
another really interesting thing. There's a beautiful book written by a scholar from Stanford called When Christians Met Muslims. And one of the most fascinating things is that the Orthodox Church was the dominant church in the Holy Lands.
Mhm.
So they actually persecuted the other churches, like the Coptic Church. The Monophysites were persecuted. Also the Nestorians, the Malachites. There were all these different what they would call heterodoxic churches, and they were persecuted. When the Muslims came, they said, no, you're fine, you can practice your religion. They actually protected them because they didn't make distinctions between the different groups. And so those type Christians loved the Muslims, and they wrote really beautiful things about them and saw them as kind of liberators whereas the Orthodox did not, because they lost their sovereignty. So you see St. John of Damascus actually writes the first kind of anti-Muslim diatribe. It's not very long, but all of the tropes against Islam are in that first diatribe against Islam. So it's very interesting. And then the Jews also thanked the Muslims because Omar ibn al-Khattab, who was the second caliph and one of the companions of the Prophet, he actually, the Christians had prohibited the Jews from entering Jerusalem. So when the Muslims took over, they actually let the Jews come back to worship in Jerusalem. And actually the patriarch of Jerusalem he wanted that as one of the stipulations for surrender of the city to Omar, that the Jews couldn't come to the city, but Omar rejected it. He said they have as much right to come here as anybody else. So they actually restored the Jews to Jerusalem when the Muslims ruled Jerusalem. And very interesting fact too, also, the Temple Mount was a garbage dump for the Christian community. And the very first thing that Omar did, he actually went and himself with his men cleaned it of all the garbage, and then that's where the beginning of the prayer site, which is now where the Dome of the Rock and the what's called the Masjid al-Aqsa, the furthest mosque, is on that Temple Mount.